So I did not get to watch the Grammys like I intended. I intended to do some streaming, have some fun with it, but I was super under the weather. Pretty shitty timing. I don't have any idea who won what, except for one award. I do know, and I'm very, very happy that this is the one that I know about, because I very much wanted her to win an award for what she was nominated for, and well, one of her nominations she got, and Doja Cat won for "Kiss Me More" with SZA. Very, very, very thrilled that she won, left with a Grammy. But that's all I know about, so I thought it'd be a little fun to kind of react to some of the winners really quickly here from that night. I'll also do a Patreon video reacting to some of the more notable performances from that night, because I always some of the Grammy performances are some of the more standout-ish performances of the year, so they kind of can't miss, and again, I'm very sad that I missed it. Okay, so record of the year is first one on, I clicked on the first link I saw, just because if I go through a bunch of links, I'll end up seeing all the winners and stuff pop out in whatever the way it's presented to me via Google. So we're gonna just hope that it works well on this website here. First one I see here is record of the year. It looks like this one was Silk Sonic. Leave the Door Open. I think that's the right call. I think that's the right decision. I am seeing Song of the Year right under it. I don't I've never loved both of these being categories at all. I've never quite, the distinction I kind of understand. It's like Song of the Year is like, so record of the year is just the base level song itself, and then Song of the Year, I think, deals with the songwriting, the composition. That was also Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic. You know, I wouldn't have, if I was going to give it to anyone else as far as Song of the Year, when you talk about overall songwriting and composition and just what went into the song, I could have definitely seen Olivia Rodrigo win this category for Driver's License. If she was gonna win, I feel like I have her pegged for winning Best New Artist. We'll see when we get there. But I also could have easily seen her winning Song of the Year here in this category. But I'm not surprised that Silk Sonic won both of these. I also would have gone with Silk Sonic. I think I actually, you know what? I would have gone Silk Sonic Record of the Year, and I would have gone Olivia Rodrigo Driver's License for Song of the Year. But again, I don't love the distinction between these two categories personally, but you know, whatever, they do what they do. Album of the Year, Jon Batiste. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I say wow because I've listened to, it's one of the only albums on here that I haven't listened to, and having said that, I don't even, like, I have no familiar with Jon Batiste at all. Yeah, good for him. Good for Jon Batiste. I don't know, I think that's an R&B record if I'm not mistaken, and it's certainly one that I glanced at when it came out, like, oh, I might want to give that a listen, or not when it came out, but when the nominations came out, and I saw that this was one of the nominations. I think I was sort of in the mindset of, I saw what it was, the genre was under. I was like, I might want to check that out. That might be kind of my cup of tea. So now I'm definitely going to have to check that out and kind of see what Jon Batiste did with this album. That's a big, to me, this is the category you want to get. If you talk about everything you put into a project and everything that goes into that, and multiple songs, and if you want to win one of these categories, this is the one right here. But you know, they're all cool, even though they're all also with a grain of salt, because the Grammys is on a lot of bullshit at all times. You know, if it wasn't gonna be John, I could have seen a Planet Her or a Sour win here. Again, there are a couple albums on here I also have not heard, but hey, again, good for Jon Batiste. Best New Artist, we got Liv. Yeah, we got Liv. Come on, it had to be Liv, right? It had to be Olivia Rodrigo. I don't even need to go over her impact on the year that was 2021, and then even as this year continues, but certainly the time frame that the Grammys nominates for Best New Artist, she was, to me, the winner. She had to be the winner here. Okay, best pop solo performance. Thrilled to see Driver's License get an award, because you can't, like I said, I would have given it Song of the Year, but I cannot. I mean, Leave the Door Open is it's those are the two best songs of the year for me in 2021, along with Adele, but Adele wasn't part of the time frame. I'm sure Adele's going to clean up at the Grammys next year. We all know this, and as she should. What I will say is that yeah, she had to win an award for Driver's License, so I'm glad to see her win an award for Driver's License. I mean, Driver's License just had to walk away with an award. All right, best pop duo group performance. This is the one that Doja Cat won. So glad that happened once again. Let's go to best pop vocal album, and Olivia won another Grammy. That's 2 Grammys. That's 2 Grammys for Olivia Rodrigo in her first ever Grammys. First time being nominated. Just and look at who she's against. She's against some heavy hitters here. Everyone she's against is a heavy hitter. And again, Planet Her could have easily won this category to me. Easily. And you can make a case for Happier Than Ever too. Olivia walking away with this is very impressive. Yeah, shout out to her. Okay, that really fills my soul with a lot of happiness. Best rap album, Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler the Creator. I just did my first Tyler the Creator reaction, and I already plan on doing more Tyler in full album forms. This just furthermore makes my eyes wide open for Tyler. Best R&B performance. So yeah, I certainly don't. A couple things. Tie? How does that work? How does a tie work? I mean, aren't there I've never seen that before. I don't know how that works. I don't know the amount of people that vote on this thing, but from my understanding, it's a very large amount. So I guess it just wound it up in a tie. I feel like the odds of that were really slim. Jasmine Sullivan, I am not familiar with her music at all, but we love to see a woman getting recognition. Leave the Door Open, like I said, just not anything nominated. Leave the Door Open is gonna win in that category most likely. As we see here again, best R&B song, best R&B performance, and best R&B song very much feels again like best record and best song, where I need more distinction. It almost feels like if one person wins, it's almost like an opportunity for someone to win the other. I don't know. I know there is distinction, but I don't love that it doesn't feel so black and white on a service level. As we go down, best R&B album, Jasmine Sullivan, Hawk's Tales, is that how you say that? Hawk's Tales. It's interesting because is that John Batiste album also We Are for album of the year? You see, so it makes no sense to have John Batiste win album of the year and not win best R&B album. I suppose if you're very much specifying, if best R&B album is based on which album best encompasses the sound of R&B in its truest form, along with obviously other great qualities that you'd like an album to have, then I guess I could see a distinction. But overall, it just feels odd to have the best album of the year winner not win in a subcategory. But again, Jasmine Sullivan, shout out to her. Hawk's Tales, I love to see that. Again, not familiar with Jasmine Sullivan, but when you see stuff like this, it stands out and it gives recognition to these artists that put their heart into this music. And someone like me, or someone that's into stuff like this, is going to see this and be like, hey, let me check out Jasmine Sullivan. Like, I already want to check out Jasmine Sullivan. And I will. So yeah, shout out to her, especially when I see an R&B category is a category that I very much gravitate towards. So then we have some categories that I'm not gonna put too much opinion in on just because they're not my forte so much, but I do see a lot of Chris Stapleton popping up. Shout out to Chris Stapleton, God of a Singer. A Best Rock Performance, Foo Fighters won that. Really cool to see that based on what's happened recently. And they won again for Best Rock Song. They won for Best Rock Album. That's beautiful to see, just because, rest in peace Taylor Hawkins. Man, it's sad because you would like to see him see the win for this, but at the very least, there's some additional recognition being put onto his name. I do also see a Bad Bunny winning here. This very much makes sense. I see Selena Gomez lost. I know there was a lot of anticipation for what would happen with her in this category. I believe it was her first nomination, right? I mean, everyone should be super proud of her just for being nominated. A couple other things here that really stick out as I look at the full list. I did see that Halsey didn't win in her category for her release last year, and another thing that sticks out is Carrie Underwood winning for Best Roots Gospel Album. That's a huge deal, I feel like, for her, just as someone who I know has multiple Grammys in the country category. So whenever you switch genres so completely, right, it's just a complete change, and then to win a Grammy in a completely different category, a completely different genre-based category, I think deserves a lot of credit. As much as I'm very much not familiar with roots gospel music, I think that she deserves a lot of credit for that. Another thing that we saw here is another Jon Batiste Grammy. I'm seeing here Best American Roots Performance, more Jon Batiste. The Best American Roots Song, more Jon Batiste. I hope I'm saying his name right, because he really cleaned up. It seems like Jon Batiste and Olivia Rodrigo were huge winners, as well as Silk Sonic, I should say, were huge winners on this night. Don Cheadle getting a Grammy. Wow. In a category with some big names here. Wow, shout out to Don Cheadle. Best Spoken Word Album. I don't even know that he, I'm familiar with these bottom three. Not familiar with Don Cheadle releasing a spoken word album. And in Best Comedy Album, that's kind of, I'm not touching that one. Big, huge love to Jack Antonoff, winning a Grammy here. Best Engineered Album, non-classical. Producer of the Year, I should say. Producer of the Year, Jack Antonoff. Put some respect on Jack Antonoff's name, please. He is the producer of the year. Got Chemtrails Over the Country Club, Gold Rush, Solar Power, just the works that I'm familiar with here, along with some other work. And look at some of the, from Bleachers to St. Vincent. There is some seriously different types of music here, and I think that lends yourself to winning that Best Producer of the Year category. And another Grammy for Jon Batiste for Best Music Video in Freedom. Yeah, so Jon Batiste, the takeaway here is Jon Batiste, absolutely must check out some Jon Batiste. Must check out some Jasmine Sullivan, as far as artists I haven't checked out before that I'm seeing here. I really gotta dive into their work. Just an absolute must. Olivia Rodrigo really cleaning up. What was it? Best New Artist, Best Pop Performance, I believe, and Best Pop Album. Love to see that for her. Well deserved, by the way. Well deserved. The only other person I would have considered it personally in those categories, or the one category was for album, was Doja. For Planet Her. Otherwise, yeah, Olivia really very much not only won these Grammys, but deserved them. And Silk Sonic deserves every Grammy, like I said, that they got for Leave the Door Open, because everything about that song is just perfect. It was played a lot. But so is Driver's License, and I also think Driver's License could have easily or should have won Song of the Year. If you have any if you have a better understanding than I do about the distinctions between some of these categories, such as a song of the year versus record of the year, such as a best album versus best R&B album, and why one would win one and not win the other, just certain things like that, you let me know. You leave those comments down below. Educate me, educate the commenters, educate the listeners. Who would you have liked to see win in these categories that didn't win? This was fun, and like I said, I'm gonna react to a bunch of the performances on Patreon. The Grammy stuff on YouTube gets not just blocked, copyright striked actually. Can't mess around with that stuff. And I'll see you all for that, or I'll see you all for the next video here on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out. Love, peace, bye.